It's been one of those weeks. Are you guys aren't on fire over there?
No. We don't live in. I don't live in a shitty state that burns once a year, unlike you.
Yeah. Well,
my skin's on fire. I got sunburned today. I got sunburned pretty good, actually. I don't like this angle. I look like a frog. I look like a frog in this camera, Ray. Your mom's burning.
That's a frog. Like Kermit the Frog.
I said that.
Tea over there. Oh, you don't live in a burning state. Sipping my tea.
That's none of my business. All right. You ready to get going?
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. It's going to be a good one. Clear my throat. Get ready to yell and scream a bunch.
Yeah.
Fucking upset.
Don't scare off Adam. Okay, Randy, when we're ready to bring in Adam, I'll say, hey, can you unmute Adam and bring him on in? Okay, bud?
Adam. That's a good joke.
You're the man. Thank you. All right, Ray. Let's do it. Let's have ourselves a podcast.
Do it.
He used to do a World of Warcraft advice podcast. He even did the original Drunken podcast, changing the game and influencing a generation of podcasters. But he was disgraced, accused of crimes he never committed. Shamed, he disappeared. By the grace and generosity of Mr. Rich Dickman, he was raised again. Seconded by his co-host, definitely not main host, Ray, Rem Dickman has returned, sexier and more handsome than ever. This is The Rich Dickman Show, the greatest podcast ever produced by Rich Dickman with Rem and Ray. Featuring executive producer Randy, producer Ryan, Maddie from Australia, hot drummer Newsbaden, and Svensson. The Rich Dickman Show, your slightly better than mediocre podcast.
Hey, Randy, have you seen Rob Van Dam's wife? You should check her out. Hey, everybody. Welcome to episode 121 of The Rich Dickman Show, the podcast. It is slightly better than mediocre. I am your host. I am Rem. Once again, back at you. If you're in the Discord here, Ray, I tried to set up like a more better looking studio, and then it's all screwed up, and I look stupid. So I'll work on it next week when obviously I'm not on vacation, because why would I do it when I'm on vacation? I don't know. Ray, what's going on, buddy? How are you?
Well, before I answer that, you're on vacation, despite working tonight. That's contractually obligated, but the rest of the week, no show prep, nothing. So, yeah, you shouldn't have to do anything. And I'm doing all right. You know,
yeah.
Surrounded by people that are not even slightly better than mediocre. Literally, everyone around me is a terrible, useless piece of shit. So, that's if that gives you any indication of how my week has gone.
Yeah, you've been grumpy. Well, just to clarify, Ray, I've been on vacation from my day job. I'm never on vacation from Rich Dickman Enterprises here, because we recorded earlier this week. We did a Patreon bonus episode. Patreon.com/Rich Dickman. RichDickman.com for all your Rich Dickman needs.
Yeah.
Ray put something on the merch tab. All right, so click the merch tab. If you want to fight this pandemic, right? If you want to save yourself from COVID-19, get yourself a Rich Dickman Show face mask. That's right. You'll kick its ass. Kick the ass of COVID-19 with the TRDS face mask. That's right. What else we got, Ray? Oh, hey, we have later on in a little bit, we have Adam from Houston coming back on the show. We can talk about some fun stuff. Producer Ryan's looking forward to that. That'd be great. But Ray, we'll get into your shitty week real quick. I do want to, because I'm really happy and excited for this, because last week I told everybody that we found all my old shit. Right. We found just about all of it, especially all the liquor fueled episodes. And we'll be releasing all the liquor fueled episodes on the Patreon. All right. So if you're into that, that's where they are. We recorded just a couple nights ago, Liquor Fueled #1, the pop-up audio version with you and Randy with me. And I'd like to play just a little clip, Ray. That's what I'd like to play. So everybody knows what they're in for some of this gold. I mean, this is from November 29th of 2013. But here we go.
I'm sorry, no. No.
Why would they send you that?
Do not want.
that was thick and weird chocolate grain. It was Okay.
Yeah.
Hold on. No. Hold on.
What do you mean? Hold on.
Here,
No,
pour it in there.
What?
Rinse it out. You gotta drive home, not too much.
Huel? Let me ask you a question.
All right.
Rem wants me to pour my gin into the dirty shot glass in which I just drank this nasty chocolate Be-Fast shake.
Okay. Initially, I would say that that's a bad idea, but I don't want to limit you guys' creative potential here. So if Rem says that's a good idea, I'm willing to give him the benefit of the doubt.
Fair enough.
Not too much.
Fair enough.
That's 3. Just a little bit, just to get the nasty taste of chocolate out.
Just turn into chocolate gin.
It's like a chocolate hug from your grandmother. It's very nice. Oh, I bet that was delicious. Was it in fact delicious?
Oh, that burns!
Oh God!
Oh, the chocolate burned in my nose.
It's a cutting edge content. That's what that was. And that is available exclusively at patreon.com/richdickman. And that one is available to all tiers to wet your whistle. Okay. So you get in there and check it out. All right. It's fun. It's fun stuff. All right, Ray, buddy, my man, we got a lot to get to in a few minutes here because I want to bring Adam in. I want to devote, most of our time to Adam, but I know that you and I have a lot of stuff to talk about. So I'm going to start with you, buddy. Like I know that I can tell, like we've been together, Ray, for a while now. You and I have been together for a while. And it's been mostly good. It's been a mostly good relationship, but I can tell, like when you're not having a good day. I can just tell through text messages. So why don't you, let's start to feel better about yourself, Ray. Get it all out.
You know what it is I don't know if I really get too down, if you will. It's just, I guess, annoyed. And maybe part of it's like workload and things like that, where when you have to do a bunch of extra work because someone else is incompetent, it drives you insane. So for example, we're doing this stuff for the house and they're saying, oh, can you just show, like we transfer money from one account to the next? And they're like, can you prove that it went from one account to the next? I'm like, well, yeah, not a problem. But since we did it fairly recently, there's not a bank statement created. You can just do a transaction history. So I go into the online banking in my browser. I save the browser as a PDF, send it to them, and they go, yeah, we need something official from your bank. And I'm like, but I mean, like this is pretty good. Like, what do you think? I went into Photoshop and went all this time to make this colorful thing from these 2 banks that show that I transferred money.
Probably.
I mean, that seems a little excessive. So what did I have to do? I had to go into the bank. And I went into the bank, Chase specifically. I was like, hey, lady.
Docs your bank information.
I was like, hey, lady, bank teller lady, they're saying from this date, July 16th to present, I need transaction history. She goes, not a problem. So she goes and prints the thing, brings it over, and hands me the one page 1 of 1. And it says 0816. And she goes, does that work? I'm like, no. That says August. I said July.
Yeah, but it's close enough.
I just said July. And I don't understand. I don't understand how someone's just that incompetent. And then she proceeds.
You're being too picky. You need to settle down. Her job is stressful enough without you making it worse.
Well, so check this out. Then these guys, this printout is literally the same thing that I would have printed at home, but less information and in black and white and on just a piece of paper that I'm going to scan. And I'm like, I could easily fabricate this if that's what they're worried about. So she proceeds to print them. And there was 2 weeks missing in there. And I, at that point, said, this will suffice. I'm out of here. I'm not waiting for her to figure out which week or 2 weeks is missing. And decided to just leave that bank. And so after that, decided, you know what? I've already spent way too much time in the bank. I'm trying to do this in between, call it my lunch at work. on my way back from work, I'm like, what's fast? Let me go to McDonald's. So I go to McDonald's, and I just go, hey, let me get two McDoubles.
Big mistake.
Yeah.
Oh,
well,
Jesus
I was
Christ,
trying to
two McDoubles.
prove. I was trying
It's
to prove
called a
that I could eat.
McQuadruple. Jesus.
I was trying to prove that I could eat French fries without crashing my car. And that was my main goal.
Fuck you, Ray.
So
Or
the second
die.
goal was to actually get
Bastard.
lunch. So I ordered 2 McDoubles, no pickles or onions, and large order fries. And what did they do? Put pickles and onions on it. And they even repeated the order back that said no pickles or onions.
You
The receipt
can't
says
get
that
custom
everything.
orders at McDonald's, Ray. What's the matter with you? You don't ask for special orders at McDonald's. It's not a restaurant. I mean,
Yeah, they're
I mean,
incompetent. That's the problem.
that would drive
Like, I
me
don't-
crazy. Like you'd stand in line at
Yeah.
McDonald's and like you're in a rush. You got to. It's fast food, right? It's fast fucking food. We got to get moving. And then like some old guy in front. Yeah, I'd like a cheeseburger with no onions, no mustard, no pickles, and no cheese. And then the lady's like, "Well, don't you want that'd be a hamburger?" It's like, "No, I want the cheeseburger because you guys make it differently." Like he'd argue with the lady on how it was. Anyways, it was just. It's not a place where you go for custom orders. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
Well, I don't like onions specifically. That's a polarizing ingredient in my
How do you
opinion.
know? You can't smell.
I can taste them, and they taste like shit. They ruin. They blow up in your mouth, and it's all ugh. So basically, everybody around me sucks, and that's like the tip of the iceberg. I could sit here all day and just complain about people, and that's all it is. I don't understand it. Like, how can you just? It's a straight fuck up, and they don't even. Oh my goodness, I'm sorry. I mean, the shit that the loan officer, this fucking guy, man. I might create something just to rail this dude, but. He's done stuff like
Call him a racist.
well, the people for the appraisal, they came and called me. They called me and they were like, "Hey, we need this and this and this." And I'm like, "Yeah, you're asking for a lot of stuff. Do you realize that I'm the buyer?" And they were, "Oh, you're the buyer." Oh, nope, we're not supposed to be contacting you. And I was like, "Oh, well, that's interesting." And they go, "Well, you're the only person listed as a contact." I'm like, "Wow, this guy at it again." like I don't even understand. Like, how does everyone this incompetent still have jobs? Like, they just all suck.
It's 2020,
Take a
right?
deep breath.
It's
and you want to know?
a year of the incompetence.
Yes. Here was the other one. We're watching some fucking show on Netflix. It's something about veterinarians or wildlife rescue in in Alaska. And all I know is it starts with this. They're like, there's this bald eagle trapped in this tree. And I'm like, why is it trapped in the tree? And it looks like it's hanging a little bit. I was like, what the fuck? It's like upside down. I was like, what the fuck is this show? I need to watch this. So this veterinarian lady is like some expert. She's like, I've rescued a ton of bald eagles or something. So the fire department's there. They get their ladder out on the fire truck. She climbs the thing and she looks like she's going to fall off that thing in no time, even though it's not even angled. So she climbs up there and lo and behold, this bald eagle somehow had like impaled its wing through a branch. And this is like a 2-inch thick branch.
Dumbass.
And
Bird.
this branch is like full length, like 10 feet at least. And she's like, I think I'm just going to slide it off. I'm going to slide the bald eagle off this branch. And I'm like, how fucking stupid are you? Why would you do that? Why not cut the branch? You have firemen right there. Cut the branch and slide the branch off. Like, how are these people? Oh my God. And she's on TV doing this? Like, oh my God. I can't believe it. Yeah. Luckily, the bald eagle survived and apparently is flying again. But how do these people do this? How do these? All I'm seeing
what your
is
problem is, Ray?
everywhere around me. Yes.
I'm going to tell you why this. I'm going to tell you why this is. Yeah, this is your fault, and I'm going to tell you why. All right, it's because you're 35 years old. Yeah, no, yes. And that's probably you're 35. You're too young. You're too young to understand that incompetence is the norm, and you have to just praise when you have non-incompetence. Okay, you got to. This is the way it is. It's not going to change. Yeah. You got to deal with it, man. You're going to lose your mind getting mad at I used to be like you, Ray. Okay, I know what it's like. I've been there. Where everybody else is stupid. Nobody can do anything right. You're the only one who can fix things. It's tough, right? I understand. Hey, if I could give you a hug right now, I would, and tell you it's okay. All right, you just gotta be you, man, and you gotta understand that nobody is as good as you. All right, and you can get through it. And you say, listen, it's a removing pickles and onions from a McDouble is hard. You know why? Because there's 2 patties. It's more confusing. Okay.
Now they put it's all stuck to the top bun. So I took my fry container and just swiped it off like a spoon. It took 2
Thank you,
seconds.
Randy.
I'm way too smart for this. It's so
Well, that's the thing. You have to stop thinking like that. Like, we know you're way too smart, and this is going to cause you problems the rest of your life. So in the
That's why I
next
don't
4
work
years,
at McDonald's
yeah,
at
in the next
35.
4 years, you have to come to terms with you being smarter than everybody, and you have to manage life that way. Okay, and otherwise, you can't just be mad all the time. You just have to deal with it. You can't change everything. You just got to change yourself, brother, or go to therapy. That's what I did.
Yeah, the only thing you can control in this world is your attitude. I get it.
That's right. Amen. Ray, my wife ordered a whole bunch of shit from Walmart. Okay. And I don't know if you knew this, but between like Walmart and Target, the prices online are cheaper than in the store.
Mm-hmm.
Blows my mind.
I think I've seen
like,
that.
I figured they'd want you in the store.
Because they have third
so
parties to get on there as well.
Whatever. So she ordered a bunch, like $63 worth of shit. Okay. And it wasn't delivered in time. It was from, it was going through UPS. Fuck UPS, those assholes. Yeah. And so it showed up on Monday. It was supposed to be here Saturday, showed up on Monday. And lo and behold, we discovered why. That box was beat to shit. It was retaped, and they used tape as part of the new box. Okay. You ever done that thing where you crush a box and then you use tape to like shore up? Yeah. It was a mess. Okay. So we opened it, and like everything's covered in like shampoo. Okay. So it was late, and the box was destroyed, and everything was covered in shampoo. Everything else was fine, right? So my wife's like, I don't know, what do we do? I'm like, well, you got to return it. Like, just get online and say you want to return it. So she goes online, and they want us to return the stuff to the store. And I'm like, fuck that. I'm not doing that shit. So I called up customer service. She's like, hey, how can I help you? I'm like, yo, your box, not only did it arrive late, it arrived destroyed, and everything in the box is ruined. Nothing was ruined. Except the shampoo. It was missing a little bit, yeah.
But it's all
nothing
ruined.
was ruined.
It's all fucking
yeah. I said, and everything is ruined. And I don't think, like, is this okay to you guys? Like, is that all right? Like, is it okay for you guys to send a box that's destroyed with a whole bunch of shit in it that I can't use? And now you want me to bring it to the store? Are you crazy? It's like, oh, sir, I'm so sorry for that. We can refund your entire order. My wife had started a return. That's how we knew that we had to bring stuff to the store. So not only did we give the entire order refunded, the stuff that they didn't want back from to the store on my wife's return, they got refunded as well. So instead of the $63 that we spent, we got $74 back. And we got to keep everything. Yeah, see? You just got to understand, everybody's stupid, Ray. Yeah, you have to use your brain to your advantage. Except when you're arguing with Chris O.C.
That's why I buy and return stuff from Best Buy. Set Randy off.
So I'm on vacation this week, Ray, and so is Chris O.C. The difference between Chris O.C. and I is that I have a wife and children, and we go do things, and we get out of the house, and none of us is scared of coronavirus, and none of us really cares too much about politics. Chris O.C. is sitting in his apartment all week. I don't think he's left since Sunday. And today's Thursday. I don't think he's left his apartment since Sunday. And he sits around and he watches political Twitter all day and tweets. He's lost his mind. Right, he's lost his goddamn mind. Okay, yeah. So why don't you tell the audience about your interaction?
Let me try and pull it up here. Didn't I?
As he texts me.
Is he texting you right now? Oh my
god! He's retweeting all these weird post office. Like the whole thing with the post office is crazy. If you want to know about what's going on in the post office, talk to somebody who works for the post office. I might know somebody, all right, and I can point you in the right direction. You think Chris O.C. would do the same thing? No, he just retweets his conspiracy theories, but your conspiracy theories are bad. So, did you find it?
So hold on, I'm almost there. Well, shit, he probably has. Oh my god, he just spent so much fucking time. Oh my god, he retweets and replies to Ben Shapiro a lot. I saw a bunch
like
of those.
Anybody sees it. That's the thing. Chris O.C. has like 130 followers. It's not like anybody ever responds or engages him in his political discussions. He is so difficult to argue with, and not difficult because he knows what he's talking about. Is because he doesn't want to have a conversation. All right, it's this weird Irish thing that his whole family does. Apparently, they just start yelling at each other. It's like you can't have a discussion with them.
So I'm trying to see
Ray, this is bad content.
I know.
God damn it, Ray. You knew it was coming. You should have had it ready.
Well, but I forgot that I blocked him, that I couldn't pull it right back up.
Do you need me to do it?
Yeah, if you have it still there, because I muted him and blocked him. So basically, what did he say? It started with you.
Yes.
Having insightful information and insight insightful insight
Yes.
into the USPS situation.
I found
and
it.
him
Okay.
responding with basically saying that you're wrong and that it wasn't. Well, you read it. If you have it there, you read it. But basically, he's being negative and changing the conversation.
I happen to have, some knowledge of the postal affairs of things, right? I know people who work in the post office, so I have a pretty good grasp on what's going on there. All right.
Yeah.
And I was just pointing out, listen, these are problems that have been in the postal system since 2006, when Congress at the time passed a horrible bill that required the post office to fund $5.5 billion every year for future retirees up to 75 years in the future. So the post office has to pay $5.5 billion every year to a retirement fund for people who don't even work for the company yet. All right. Yeah, it's crazy. Without that $5.5 billion, they would have been profitable. All the other shit you see with the collection boxes, also the bullshit, like that's all normal. Like they're just being either refurbished or moved. People don't use the blue collection boxes anymore. If they don't use them, why are they still out there? Okay. So there's a whole bunch of weird shit going on with people saying the post office is in chaos and Trump is destroying the post office and Louis DeJoy, the new postmaster general, is ruining it and cutting back and like none of that's actually happening. So I just kind of tweeted out, say, hey, listen, these aren't new issues. Congress hasn't fixed it. You only hear about it because it's an election year and they won't fix it. So Chris O.C. decided he was going to respond. Remind me what party had control of both houses of Congress. Now, hold on. Before I get into that, I wasn't blaming either side. I use Congress in general because Congress, both Congress, both Republican, Democrat, all of them are terrible and have done nothing, have done jack shit to address the actual problems of the Postal Service since 2006. Okay. So Chris O.C. writes, remind me what party had control of both houses of Congress and passed the Postal Accountability Enhancement Act in a lame duck session after they lost them both in a 2006 midterm that put USPS in a position to fail that is being exploited today, please. Hashtag both sides, LOL. So I wrote, fair enough. Now remind me who fixed it. And hashtag both sides can get fucked. And then Chris O.C. responded, LOL, that's great. I enjoy that. We know who broke it, but ignore that. Who didn't fix it? You sound like a crazy chick, man. And I responded,
He sounds like a crazy
K. Yeah, I responded K. And then you responded, pot, meat, stupid game, tweet. That's Chris O.C. And then he responded, not certain what you're getting at, but thanks for playing. Crawl back in your troll hole, would you? And then you write, I was referring to the crazy chick comment, but in your current state, I don't believe discussion may be had. I'll leave you be. Peace emoji. And then he writes, well, if you have to explain it, you probably failed. I don't care what you think my current state is, so I appreciate you fucking all the way off home.
Like he's so negative. If you read any of his anything online, it's all negative. It's just hatred. It's just vile. So, in my opinion, I was just trying to quickly point out that, hey man, he's calling you a crazy chick. I'm like, hey man, pot meat kettle kind of situation here, right? Like, maybe take a quick look in the mirror. Like, have you not read any of your tweets over the past year, 2 years, 3 years? And so for him to come at me, and I'm like, all right, you know what? I don't have time for this. Like, as little as I get on social media, what am I going to get on here and just see negativity?
Just argue.
Is that really what I want to see when I get on here? And for
argue with someone you can't argue with.
Yeah, exactly. And the guy's already made up his mind. So I'm like, whatever, man. So, I was hoping to maybe shed some light and make him, do some little internal reflection. But just maybe. And then as soon as that didn't work and he became even more aggressive, then it's like, well, what? Like, whatever. I'm muting you. I'm blocking. Whatever. I don't know if I blocked. I don't know how Twitter works, but I just got rid of him. I don't see anything and he does anymore.
You know why he hates you? I'll tell you why he hates you.
Because I'm on the show.
Because you had the audacity to call yourself New Huel.
Oh, that's right. Yeah.
At my
Which
behest.
was a joke that somebody else had said it, right? Because that's all it was.
Yes, I did.
Yeah. So he obviously he must have thought that I came up with that. But
he did. I tried to explain it to him. It was my idea.
Yeah, but whatever. As if I literally sit here thinking that I'm somehow like a replacement of Huel. Like, no, I'm me. I do whatever I do. But yeah, that guy's he's a character, man.
What's funny is that
he's gone off the deep end.
I can't get Chris O.C. to like any of my friends because before Fit died in a canoe accident, those two had a go at each other over me.
That's not surprising. Ooh,
two people who don't want to lose.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's a girl's.
Two people who don't want to lose and won't accept it.
Dream right there.
Yeah. So yeah, it's at Stupid Game Tweet if you guys want to see that nonsense. But don't mention the show. He'll just get mad. He's my friend. All right. So I got my haircut.
Just block you before he even reads the tweet if you mention the show.
No, he doesn't block. He'll engage till he's bored. But you won't get anywhere. All right. So I got my haircut earlier this week, Ray, and we all know that I have a lovely hairdresser, stylist, who you can follow on Snapchat, King Kayla 13. And so before I walked into the salon to get my hair did, I decided, you know what? I better check Kayla's Snapchat to see what's going on, right? So I open up her Snapchat, and there she is. You know, she's got her thing. She's outdoor doing something. And then she's in her outfit with a low cut, top on and showing off. And then I come onto the next one, and it's a screenshot of a text exchange she had with somebody, and it says. Hold on, let me bring it up. I want to get the words right because it's important.
Yeah, and how many
fucking
followers
tonight?
does she have?
You having my baby? Oh, on TikTok she has 50,000 followers. Okay, all right, so the Snapchat says, the screenshot says to her it says, "We fucking tonight. You having my baby?" And she responds, "Okay, Zaddy." I don't know what a Zaddy is, but I'm like, oh my god, it's like, oh, congratulations! Like I want to go in there and like congratulate you. All right, you fucking tonight. You having a baby? Good for you. Yeah.
High fives.
So I walked
High fives all around. Butt slaps even.
Now, so everybody who I told this to was like, "Oh, did you congratulate Zaddy on having a baby?" I'm like, "No," because I finally found someone who can cut my hair and does an awesome job at it, and I really like her, and she does a good job with my kids. I'm not ruining this, so I'm going to keep my mouth shut. I'm just going to compliment her different hair color today of purple and silver or whatever the hell it was.
What would it take?
Go ahead. No, you finish.
What would it take for you to fuck that up? Like to start talking to her about that? Like how far would it have to go? Her maybe saying, "You know what? Come in here once a week and I'll cut your hair and we can just talk about it." Or she's like, "You want to go out back? I can lock the janitor's closet in the back and we can go back there." Or is it like just her just being like, "You know what? I'll give you free haircuts once a month," like something small. But what, or like before, what would it take to get you to bring that up? That's my question.
I'd have to find another stylist who could do my hair as well as she does.
So it's really about the hair. It really is.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. You know how hard it is to find somebody who just does exactly what I want them to do? Right? Because everybody has their own ideas what to do with my shitty hair. Like I just walk in and I'm like, "Hey, Kayla, O&A, high fade, short at the top." You got it. And she does it. Like, that's it. I don't say anything. Every other person who ever cut my hair is like, "No, I want the between the 0 and the 1. All right. I'd like a high fade, please. And that top not too short so that it sticks up. Okay. It needs to be long enough that it can just lay down." And she does it perfectly. And I don't want to ruin that. However, if I do find somebody who is either cheaper and does a good job or just does a good job, then I'd be like, "Hey, Zaddy." Hey, fucking tonight. I'm Zaddy.
You should have said that. You should have just said thanks to Zaddy on your way out.
Yeah.
Seeing what she said.
Maybe I will next time.
You got to drop those
you invited her on the
show. Very subtle hints. See if she catches on.
Because I love to ask, because she has 50,000 TikTok followers. Like, I'm curious. And I've seen her TikTok, right? And it's just like her just like lip syncing to different songs with low cut tops on and everything. On her Snapchat, like she's shown like her ass in a bikini a few times. And then she like does like when she's in a bath, but you just see her legs. I don't know. I don't know what she wants.
So next time, like
her pussy magic, you gotta, witch pussy magic.
You got to do one of those where like she'll say I don't know any new hot artists, but like Ziggy Azalea or something like that. She's lip syncing to some song.
What the fuck did you
say?
Then
you got to like go in there and like be like, "Have you heard that new song? It's so catchy." But like after she posted like a day or two before. And just like things like that, like make references to things she recently posted without getting into too much detail, and just see if she ever catches on. or ask her, be like, hey, I have a podcast, and people start recognizing me because I do this podcast. Do you ever have like what's your recommendation for someone that would, has a high social media profile that gets recognized in public? Well, you got any tips?
All right, that's enough, Ray, of my hairstylist. I know we have something very important from down in Australia coming up.
It's going to be an excellent cut.
Yeah.
Such a good transition.
It's been a few weeks since we heard from our Australian correspondent.
So where the fuck is my soon-to-be husband? 4 fucking men rocked up at my house, and now I haven't seen Matt for 2 days. I don't know where the fuck he's gone.
What?
But I had 4 cunts at my door, and then he just disappeared. What the actual fuck?
Perhaps Maddie could shed some light.
Howdy, fellas. Me and some lady person have our engagement party on Saturday night.
It sounds like Maddie is getting cold feet.
I also rode my kangaroo to my dealer's house and put an ounce of weed in his pouch, and he fucking hopped me all the way back home. It was fucking great.
I did not see that coming.
So I've spent most of the day just cleaning up the house.
And how many kangaroos did that take?
There was 14,000 the first day and 28,000 the next.
Thanks for the update, Maddie. And good luck to you and your lady person. Do you have any closing thoughts?
Fuck America, because you guys can't go anywhere, so eat a bag of dicks.
Wow. All right. Well, congratulations to Maddie from Australia. He is getting engaged. Or he's gotten engaged. He's gotten engaged. He's getting married, stupid asshole. You fucking
What's
idiot.
crazy is that's like an unedited interview or something like that. So that's exactly what he said word for word. No editing, nothing like that. He just that's just what comes out of Australia. He just sends us his updates.
I don't handle the Australian stuff, and you don't either. That goes straight into into the engineering department, and they cut those for us, and they get those ready for the show. So congratulations, Maddie from Australia. Here's to you and your years of upcoming misery.
Yeah, basically straight to VHS or straight to DVD. There's no theater release on those. Just here it is.
All right. I feel like I'm missing something before we move on.
We probably
I guess
are.
not.
We fucked up and didn't talk about the USPS volunteers. You hear about that?
No, what's that?
Did you hear that Cher was trying to volunteer to work for the USPS?
Jesus Christ. Ray, do I have to do a whole thing on the... Okay. I'm gonna address this very quickly because I want to get... Because Adam is waiting very patiently. All right. I don't want to keep him much longer. Okay. He's very important to me. All right. But what you are being told about the United States Postal Service in the news media is not
true.
Accurate.
Oh, my bad.
It's not accurate at all. Okay. All right. And now that they're not being allowed to make any changes. But the government doesn't like doing that. The government just gets the problems compound until they just complain about them and nothing happens. You look like
so an easy solution then is instead of paying people, supplement that with volunteers, right? I mean, if you can get volunteers, why would you not, right? So we want to look at that article real quick and see. Do you know about volunteers in the USPS and who's volunteered and been turned away?
Well, I guess let's look.
It won't take that long. It won't take very long. It's short.
So you got Cher.
Yeah, Cher volunteered to work
Cher
for USPS.
tweeted.
Yeah.
Okay, called 2 post offices in Malibu. They were polite. I said, "Hi, this is Cher, and I would like to know if you ever take volunteers." Lady said she didn't know and gave me number of the supervisor. I called and said, where'd it go? I called and said, "Hi, this is Cher. Do you accept volunteers?" No, need fingerprints and background check. Exactly, because you're dealing with people's mail. All right, you're dealing with the sanctity of the mail. You're not just going to take some volunteer.
Federal offense if you steal it.
God damn it! I hate it.
But I like that she called and said, "Hi, this is Cher." I'm pretty sure that anyone, if I ever answer the phone and it was Cher, but they said, "Hi, this is Cher," I'd be like, "This can't be Cher." Saying it's got to be a prank call, right? Like if you call and it's like, "Hey, this is Bono," and it sounds just like him. Yeah, I still think it's fake. But yeah, so even the USPS is not accepting help, even from volunteers. No, they're trying to sink their own ship. That's all I'm gathering.
probably gonna cut most of that out, Ray. All right, but this whole thing is just driving me crazy. The amount of misinformation out there is just insane. Randy, unmute Adam. Let's get going with some fun stuff here. Hey, buddy, how's it going?
Well, it's going well. Well, as could be expected anyway.
Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah. So, hey, before we get started, Adam, all right, if you try pulling some of the bullshit you pulled on us last time, we're not going to be friends anymore.
Well, why not? I'm just trying to show that I care, Put forth the effort to, do something entertaining on your show. I'm getting a lot of positive responses from rimdrinkscum.com.
Yeah,
people are digging it, man. It's very popular. It was funny as
twice our size.
What's funny is I wasn't even in on the joke. I just saw it and thought it was funny.
Yeah. Did you hear my voicemail when I called in drinking cum?
Yeah, that's pretty good.
Yeah. You guys are lucky you have a good sense of humor. All right, otherwise I'd be pissed. All right. So, anyways, Adam, I
wouldn't have done it if I didn't think you could get a joke.
Yeah. Thank you. Appreciate that. So we had you on a couple episodes ago. Ray, what was it? 118 or 117?
Yeah,
I don't remember. It was
not the best person to ask, but yeah, that sounds about right.
I think it was. See, Ray, get your shit together, man. And Adam, I'm sorry you had to wait because Ray talks too much, and I have to talk down to him now. I have to impress my guests.
Yeah.
Ray. But we had a lot of positive feedback from your last appearance because you are certainly one interesting individual.
Ray, I appreciate it.
Yeah, Ray certainly fell in love with you in the post show after I left, and you guys talked for another 2 hours or whatever it was.
Yeah.
He's trying not to show it right now. You can see him on camera, but he is super excited that Adam from Houston is back. You can only see one
of my hands on camera.
Yes, and Spaghetti said to me, he said, "Hey, Rem, listen, when you have Adam back, you got to talk to him about hustling drugs because nobody ever talks to him about hustling drugs." And Ray is trying to get into that lifestyle. Like Ray is trying to swing and hustle drugs. So I guess what we want to know, Adam. Yeah.
Just grow shrooms.
I think everybody should
grow shrooms. If you're going to get in on that type of game, hey, that's the easiest way to do it.
This place comes with a dirt backyard. Easy enough, right?
Don't even need a dirt backyard. You just need a closet.
Oh,
God damn it. Don't you know anything, Ray? Fungus doesn't grow in the backyard.
That's why Adam's here, so he can help me out. I literally know nothing. Well, good thing I bought a house with a bunch of closets.
So, anyways, sometimes when I talk about my background, I mention I go to prison and people are like, "Whoa, what the fuck?" But the hustling part of my background often gets glossed over, and basically what happened was I'd been going to college for like 5 fucking years, and I've been going summers too. I had a shitload of college, but I hated all the degree things. I couldn't figure out what I wanted to do, and I just said, "Fuck it." I had an existential crisis, moved to Houston, and then just started hustling. And I had no reason to do that. Oh, okay. Mainly weed. That was the bread and butter thing. Look, hustling weed's a damn job. Anyone that wants to say it's not a job, it's a job. You want to talk about logistics problems, you got to be able to talk fucking hustler time. And you got to be able to try to get a lot of lazy individuals to try to actually get their shit together to actually get shit out. It's a lot more complicated than you think.
Oh, I imagine that a successful drug operation takes somebody who knows a significant amount about business and how business works, much like the Postmaster General, excuse me. Businessmen are some of the smartest people on earth, regardless of their IQ, because running a successful business operation, like Rich Dickman as well, Ray.
Look, it takes all types. It takes all types to keep something working. So, my whole thing was I was a numbers guy. I was able to just basically hear the numbers of a deal, be able to tell if it was good or not. And I kind of had a good sense of the market and how long it would take to get things done. And so I was I was kind of the sniff test guy and making sure that a deal was good. And on top of that, I look like the honkiest motherfucker in the universe. And so I'm able to maneuver in a lot of spheres that my partners couldn't do. It was like a 5-man operation that I was in, and we were all friends. We were tight, and we were gangsters, and we did a lot of gangster shit. But we weren't really getting out there like that. We're mostly about our business more than anything else. And so most of the time, we're just hanging out at the trap house, fucking playing Xbox on the projector all day, man. And we're just waiting for shit to show up and shit to go out. And we're in an apartment complex, so people would show up to get their shit. But we were like wholesalers mostly. So, we're selling to the people that are selling to we're selling to the people that, distribute it out and however the hell they break it down, but they're picking up enough at a time that it's worthwhile. And so there's a high enough traffic where if you're coming to pick your shit up, you got to set aside at least like 30, 45 minutes or something like that. You got to sit down and chill for a while. So it doesn't look like people are just in and out of the fucking place all the time.
Right.
But, we had it set up where it was cool. I had a fridge with my bongs in it, like one of those tall mini fridges that's made of stainless steel. All my bongs were in that shit. As soon as we got done smoking with that thing, I emptied out the water. I shook it out with table salt and rubbing alcohol and wiped it all down like it was brand spanking new, replaced the water, put it back in the fridge. And so, we were good hosts when it came to that shit. Plus, we had this whole place wired. We had cameras all over this fucking place. Like, you couldn't get on the street without us seeing you. So we knew, and there's only one street in. So even if a cop was actually coming down the street, we'd know well ahead of time. And we had our own ways to making sure that, drug will, work is what we called it. The work wasn't where it would be that incriminating. Like if they found, like we had it set up so that if they found it, they couldn't prove it was anybody's.
Yeah. Now, is that all set up that way because you were so much smarter than everybody else?
Watched a lot of fucking Hustler movies, and we got stoned and talked about them.
Oh, so you're productive stoners. Awesome.
Kind of. I mean, there's a lot of fucking phone hustling and shit like that. And I had a job the whole time. I worked at a hippie bar downtown in Houston where you can smoke weed like a free man.
Mm-hmm.
And I was the door security, and I was the door guy.
Okay.
And I saw some weird shit there all the time too, man, because it's downtown in Third Ward. And man, when you get downtown and it gets fucking late, weird shit starts happening. Shit, I mean, I worked there for a couple of years. There was a chick that was going back to her car, and she got robbed at shit point. Like a hobo ran up with a bunch of shit and said, "Give me your money or I'm gonna rub the shit on you."
And rub the shit, like, oh shit, like literal shit, like
yeah, like yeah, shit. Would you give up your money if someone's threatening you with shit? Right? This is especially homeless shit. You looked at that shit and you see the homelessness in that shit, and he's saying, "I'm gonna rub this shit on you or give me your money." Will you give it up?
So no, because I'm not bothered by the smell. Since I don't have a sense of smell, I'm like, you lost half your incentive.
Yeah, but Ray, like you're gonna get shit on you. He's gonna rub.
It's
shit
also
in your
got
face.
herpaganosyphilades in it. Don't forget about that.
That's right, herpaganosyphilades.
All right, well, maybe if the hobo's yelling, it has that in it. Then I'm thinking
this hobo was fueled by red wine.
Red wine fueled.
So I had some dude in this apartment complex I live in take a swing at me one time, but he was like so drunk. He was so drunk on this vodka. Like I got home from work at like 4:00, and he's out front by the mailboxes, like sitting on the ground, leaned up against the building. He's like, "Hey, you want some?" And I was like, "I'm good. I'm good, man." And then like an hour or two later, he's knocking on my door, and he's like, I don't know what he was doing. He was like trying to come in and say hi, and I don't know, looking for someone or whatever the hell he was. I have no idea. He was banging on the door all loud, and I was like, "Hey, man, I saw you were out here earlier. You live here?" And he's like, "Yeah." I'm like, "You want me to walk you home?" So I start to walk him home, get to the front of his place, and then he just randomly takes a swing at me. You know what? A guy that drunk, they can barely stand up, has a really slow swing. Really slow.
You kicked his
like
ass.
Slow motion.
You beat the shit out of him, didn't you?
Oh, it was like I was like Neo in the Matrix without even trying. Like it was. So all I'm saying is some hobo with a handful of shit, and I can't even smell. If he happens to hit me with it, like I can outrun him. Like I'm not that intimidated. That's all I'm saying.
What if you could taste it? It smells so bad.
Yeah.
He'd have to get pretty close. And
Ray, there's a thing called hobo strength.
This shit, 15 feet away, you're tasting that shit.
All right, so let me tell you another story then, Adam. So I opened up the In-N-Out Burger in this town, and one time there was a homeless guy. I just have further proof of me being able to handle this homeless guy situation with a handful of shit. This homeless guy's in the dining room, and I'm the manager at In-N-Out, right? So this guy is yelling at all the customers and swearing up a storm and something probably about Nazis or something. So I go out there and I'm like, "Sir, you need to leave." So he starts shuffling his way out the door. As he's making his way across the patio and into the parking lot, turns around, throws a shoe at me. Again, Neo from the Matrix over here. I dodged that shit. And I tell him, get out of here. I think I even hand the shoe back to him like a baller. Like, here you go, sir. Nice try. And then as I'm walking back in the store, the whole window, like In and Out is full of windows. The whole front side, every customer and like half the employees in the store are all standing there at the window looking at me. And I even got a compliment. Someone, rarely in customer service does anyone call and give you a compliment. And you know what they did? They called and said that they really appreciate the way I handled that situation, and especially that I never backed down. So bring on the homeless guys with hands full of shit.
Ray, you're such
you're
a
a badder
weird
dude
guy,
than this
Ray.
broad that gave that cash up. But I also saw a homeless dude get hit by a fucking car while I was working there.
Now that's scary. That's the problem. You can't beat them up because they're so fueled on whatever the hell's in their system. Like, you can't beat them.
Yeah, so
you can just avoid them.
So this dude got hit by this fucking car, and I'm standing out front of the door smoking, and this door like automatically locks behind itself, and everybody had pretty much already come in, but I'm kind of obligated to be at this door. So I got my foot in the door, propping this thing open while I'm outside smoking a cigarette, and this homeless dude just kind of meandering right down the street. And I mean, this car just must not have seen him at all. Didn't slow down in the slightest. It was,
or saw him.
Yeah, it was like a mid-sized family.
Saw him
like
200 yards
sedan.
away.
Just plowed into this dude, going probably like, I don't know, 35 maybe, something like that. And, and this hobo just went boof and rolled over this car, landed on his feet, just took a look around, real panicked, and just boof, just started booking it. And he was fucking gone. And I'd heard a clatter after this shit. And I was like, whoa, what the fuck? I looked around. Nobody was there. Nobody was around. I was like, oh, come on. Nobody fucking saw this shit? But I went and, like, when the dude got hit, and he had a pocket knife flung out of the guy, flung off the dude. And I went and found it under, like, one of the cars parked out front. So I was like, sweet, free knife.
Nice. Ray, you're such a weird guy, Ray. You're like a skinny guy, and you let your wife cut your hair, and you're a quarter Asian, and yet you're beating the shit out of hobos. I don't understand, Ray. It's all so confusing. Adam, let's talk money. Who is in charge? Who was in charge in your operation of the money, and how do you decide that? Because
I feel like Adam
money
was a
ruins
collective.
everything.
It was a collective effort. All right, look, we went in Dungeons and Dragons rules. Okay, so you ever played D&D before?
Nope.
Fucking nerds.
All right. Well, okay. Imagine this: you're adventuring, right? You're like dwarves and fighters and shit like that. You're going around, you're beating shit up, but you're also taking their fucking money. So how do you divvy this crap up? Well, you take the profit that's made and you split it evenly, and then you imagine that there's an extra share, basically, like there's an extra person involved, and that's the group fund. That's for the incidentals and shit like that, crap that needs to be bought, that sort of thing. And then you take that and set it aside. And then there's the actual like main fund, which is the like basically what you use to buy the next stuff, the amount of money that you have to have on hand to keep stuff flipping, basically. And that nobody touches. That has to be right.
Yeah.
So it really wasn't that big a deal because everybody got equal shares. We all put in the work to do this type of stuff because there was a lot of connections from a lot of different people. And if you looked at our group, you probably wonder what the fuck, because we looked like straight out of Captain Planet and the Planeteers, man. Like, so it was two white guys. Yeah, it was two white guys, a black dude, a Salvadorian guy, and a Native American dude.
Oh, you need all them. Like, that's important for your gang. Yeah.
Yeah, and the Native American dude had a decent amount of Hispanic in him as well. And so we knew a lot of people that were connected to fucking cartels and shit like that. So we were getting weed that was coming right over the border and anything else that was coming over the border. We had access to touch that from the people that it was going to, basically. So right out that drop-off point is where we could pick it up if we had cash on hand.
So you're not growing your own weed, you're getting it supplied to you, and then you're distributing it?
That's how you get jammed up at the time, because if you really want to make money off of that type of stuff, first off, you're going to have a big power bill. This is before LEDs are really a thing, because this shit is like way outside the statute of limitations and shit like that. This is why I have no problems talking about it, because this is all shit that I did back in like 2007, 2008. Shit, I was making my own hash oil before it was even popular. I always had shit tons of weed on hand. And it was just easy to make money off of this stuff back then. Because of the people that we knew, I was basically able to rip a 20% margin off of something that sold itself. People would call you and come and pick it up and come get it, which we basically had zero risk. We stayed in one location. People came to drop the stuff off to us. People came to pick the stuff up too. So they would have to, if they wanted to jam us up, they'd have to find out where that location somehow. So we were relatively safe in how it was all done. And it just took some diligence and making sure that shit was right. And on top of that, we just didn't want to get jumped. Like I had a crazy firearm collection, and people didn't fuck with us because they knew we weren't about to fuck around with them. But we were chill, and we always came right. So, it was
awesome.
easy to make money with. Well, it was, but I had my, I was, like I said, I got there from an existential crisis. So I kind of got out with an existential crisis too, because I was mostly selling weed, but I had access to whatever the fuck I wanted. It didn't matter what it was. If I wanted it, I could find it. I knew someone, all I had to do was make a phone call. I could find someone. And, but I didn't really fuck with a lot of stuff. I did a little bit. I did some cocaine. I would do it maybe 2 or 3 times a year, something like that. I would go on like a weekend bender if the right people were around and it's the right scene. Like if it like in like a club sort of scenario, cocaine's fun. Man, it's fun. And
where's the sex better? Is the sex better on weed or is the sex better on coke?
Oh, it's awful on coke, dude, because it's easy to overshoot and then you can't get fully hard, dude. I don't know what the fuck it is. That's the one thing to being those drugs fuck with your dick. Do something else if you're looking to actually get laid, or you got to take it easy for a while to get it right.
Huh. Okay.
And weed was always pretty good. Like I also, dealt with like shrooms and acid and stuff like that. That was always a weird time. You never knew what you were going to get doing it like that.
What do you mean?
But on top of that, I worked at a fucking hippie bar. I was a hustler on the side. I was a rather mysterious dude because not a lot of people knew what the fuck I was going on. And people that kind of had an inkling what the fuck was going on were like, what the fuck? Because I just had access to everything. And, if I needed something, I knew where to find it. Because that was one of the good things about being a hustler is that people like you. They know you by name. They're willing to do you favors. They want to be in your good graces. And people like inviting the dope man to the fucking party. I don't know what it is.
Absolutely.
But,
yeah.
I mean,
Mike likes that.
Like I know somebody. That's what it is, right?
Yeah, and I maneuvered in a lot of circles that a white boy's got no business being in, but I was a cool dude and I could chill. And and people liked me. I don't know what it was. I hung out with a lot of hardcore Mexican gangsters. It's like some famous rappers of the local Houston scene. Like I kind of got around.
So Adam, go Ray ahead. You look like Ray. I've interrupted you twice, Ray. Go ahead. I'm sorry, buddy. You've had a bad week.
I appreciate you. All I was going to say is if you're dealing with weed and a large volume of customers, because I would imagine that's what it is, versus some of the high-end stuff, doesn't that to an extent pose more risk? Like volume is a risk, is it not? As opposed to higher it, or is it, I mean, I know nothing, right? Or is it like, so once you get into the high-end stuff, that's where they're like, the feds are going to be like, we're only looking for that. We don't give a fuck about weed.
No, actually, the feds were looking for the shit that I was doing because I was getting like pounds of like regular weed, right? Some swag, that sort of stuff. And back in those days, you were able to sell a pound for like, close to about $500 a pound, something like that. But I was able to pick them up for like $380. And the people that I was selling to, they're not coming and getting one. They're coming and getting like 5 or 6. And there's plenty of people that would show up and get like 30 or 40. And so that was the level that I constantly dealt with. There were some people that I was more friendly with. They were more local, that sort of thing. Like people that I was more, I dealt to them, but we were friends too and shit like that. They'd pick up like slightly lower quantities, but they'd come and hang out for fucking 5 and 6 hours on end and shit like that. And, like hang out and party, that sort of shit.
So it seems like
so you're probably looking to hang
not
out.
Necessarily like the way I see it in the movies or shows or whatever is you got like your the top guy, and under them are people that they're like, if you ever fuck up, I'm going to kill you. So it sounds like you just had connections and it just was more organic than we've built a network.
The whole thing is
accurate.
because we're coming cash on hand. It's not like the only people that we're representing and that we're affiliated with is ourselves. We're representing ourselves in this deal. And so we're the junction when it no longer becomes some sort of organized crime situation.
Yeah.
And so, but we're also a step removed away from that, because really we're buying it from their free agents. And so there's always a lot of obfuscation as to what comes from where or whatever, but the whole thing is to try to chase the good deal and to see who can actually deliver. And I mean, it's not like I bought from one person. God, I had about as many buyers as I did sellers, like I was all, because people would dry out, people would get back on, and you never know what the fuck's going on behind the scenes. Shit falls off all the time.
Yeah. Good bust.
So I'm a very straight edge individual, Adam. I don't dabble in any sort of drug, nor do I drink any alcohol. It's all a bit for the show. Never mind that bottle of Captain Morgan behind me. That's nothing. So when you said that you never knew what you're going to get with the mushrooms and the acid people, what do you mean by that?
So, when you're taking psychedelics like that, they hit people differently, drastically differently. So it sort of depends on your mood at the time, man. And on top of that, some people just got no chill and are generally insecure people within themselves, that sort of thing. So you never know when someone's going to freak out a little bit, because it kind of, if you take enough psychedelics, say it like strips away your ego. So all you're dealing with is your greater morals and your lower id. And those two things kind of have to reconcile with one another. There's Timothy Leary wrote some shit about that. And to a certain extent, even though I can kind of get where he's coming from, he's sort of onto something. And so if someone's got no chill in them, man, yeah, they can freak out. And they can freak out. But having sex on shrooms is what I was talking about and stuff like that. Because, you're hallucinating, man. So you're kind of going where your mind's eye wants to look to a certain extent. So you're going to see like weird fucking patterns and stuff like that. I've been able to I've had sex and been able to look at her and see her like circulatory system underneath her skin and shit like that. It's like fucking cool.
That sounds awesome. Wow. My friend Mike was telling me that my friend Mike got really high a few nights ago, and he was having sex with his lady. And he kept having like weird thoughts of like getting like not being hard and stuff. So he kept willing himself into hardness. It was the weirdest thing he was telling me. And he had these images of like those Scud missile launchers from the Iraq War. Like he thought his dick was a Scud missile launcher, and he was just like launching Scuds into his wife's vagina. It was the craziest shit ever, man. And that was just on weed. So I can imagine.
Man, whatever you got to do to get it done.
Mushrooms.
I would just imagine myself walking through a gun store. I'd be like, oh yeah. Because talk about weapons and stuff like that. So in my hustling days, I actually took my firearm collection very seriously. I started off as an engineer. Engineer, so I looked at guns as a tool. Like it's something you're going to have an application to use this thing. So I had like a huge collection of guns, depending on what was going on. So I actually had you know what a 460 Magnum is?
No,
I do not.
Okay, so it's a 45 caliber bullet, and this shell is fucking long. It's about a fingernail longer than a AA battery. And it shoots this bullet at 2,200 feet per second. That's about as fast as an AR-15.
Goddamn.
And that's a big fucking bullet. And I had these penetrator rounds. They were like armor-piercing rounds. And so I had this thing. And man, I love showing it off to people. I love showing my guns to people all the time when I was hustling. People looked at me and was like, oh shit, there's that crazy fucking white boy. And that was one of the things that actually kept people from fucking with us. Because I'm this chill dude that has all these fucking guns, and I wouldn't necessarily say a lot at any given time. So, if you don't give people a lot to go off of, they're just not going to fuck with you because they don't want to know what happens.
Yeah.
But this gun, I had it for some of the bigger deals because sometimes I had to go out and do a deal in a car and then do an exchange out there, that sort of thing. So I had this thing in case someone tried to rip us off. If they actually just grab the cash and try to burn off, then the point of this thing is to shoot the engine block and stop their car. And then I had another gun on me to actually shoot dim if I had to or something like that. But at least if you just shoot the car at that point, negotiations are still open. You can have. Oh yeah. Well, they're not going anywhere. Better call AAA. But they're gonna have to rectify that situation pretty damn quick. I'm not trying to kill anybody. I'm about my money here. So,
Right.
so I thought about my firearms in sort of that sort of category. Like I had a gun that on me for when I was hustling. If I needed to just draw down on someone real quick and actually shoot them. If I needed to actually shoot them, I had a 2-shot Derringer that could shoot either 410 shells or 45, and I would have the first one loaded with birdshot. And then I'd have the next one be like either 45 long Colt or a slug or something like that. But if I actually did have to draw down someone, you could be like poof and actually shoot him and be like, really, you really want to do this? And that thing was fucking slick. That was actually a go-to gun for me for a while because it was so easy to conceal. You could just have this thing on you and no one would have any idea.
Have you ever shot a Walther PPK?
No, I haven't shot a PPK.
Oh.
Isn't that shoot
video game guns?
No, it's not. That's a real gun. My dad owns one. I've shot it.
I didn't have anything close to that caliber. I had a semi-automatic and it was a 1911 variant. And then I had a couple revolvers. So like I had a Judge, that 410 revolver. I had two of those 2-shot Derringers. I had a 22 Buckmark. I had a bunch of shotguns. I had a Saiga. I had a FN Scar, and
ooh, wow,
man, you need to talk to
the Scar was for
Scar.
So I have my Scar loaded out in a particular way, and this is for if the feds are kicking down the damn door or something like that. If there's like a real shootout, like a real shootout, and it's going down like heat's happening or something like that. Then that's when you got to pull up the big boys for real bad situations. But the Saiga would do that too. That was you could sit there and you can put down a lot of fucking lead pretty damn fast, and especially if you're dealing with a shootout that's not like getting raided by the law, but more dealing with people that might be trying to fuck with you. Really, how hard is someone really going to come at you when you're not really affiliated with anybody? You're not dealing with like some sort of turf warfare shit like that or anything like that. So really, it's going to have to be a dude rounding up a posse to come try to get you if they're really wanting to fuck with you. And one dude with a Saiga can fend off like 5 damn people with pistols. Like they would really not want to fuck with that. So,
interesting.
Adam.
Okay, so
right now I'm into Rubik's cubes, but I think I need to get into guns because that sounds awesome.
Easy transition.
I'm a big fan of machines in general, like cars, guns, lighters, watches. Those are all things I actually know like a whole lot about. As I was I was actually around a lot of ritzy people in Houston that smoked weed. Like, I knew people that were like lawyers and shit like that I was selling weed to because these people got to get their weed too. And I'm non-threatening looking. So, I hung around with a lot of people that are fucking snobs. They're fucking snooty ass snobs about their fucking weed. And I was able to get high grade weed and stuff like that. But,
those guys on NFHC.
Yeah, the profit margin on the high grade stuff actually wasn't all that great. And on top of that, the clientele is annoying and people wouldn't want to pick up mass amounts of high grade weed, really. And so I'd have some of this stuff. People are like, oh, that's great. But have you seen this weed? And I'm like, motherfuckers. I actually started carrying around a jeweler's loop just for that. So I could be like, really, let me see that shit. And I get up on that shit with like a microscope and stuff like that. And they're like, what the fuck? Yeah. Well, I mean, I want to compare and contrast.
Adam, what is high grade weed? What's the difference between high grade weed and non high grade weed?
It's all about the trichromes, man, having the crystals on the damn weed. I mean, it's a crystalline structure that grows off this stuff. That's simple, if you look at it under a microscope, you can see the geometric formation of all that stuff. And the more it's kind of spirals out, the more matured the THC is and the better it is, then the more it's usually going to taste better. There's a lot of factors into this type of thing. It's like any aficionado shit. There's a lot of nuance in this type of thing. But it's really hard to argue with aficionados because a lot of it is subjective. But how I would get these motherfuckers, how I would out-snob the snobs is the lighter. I would always have a nicer lighter, and I would always talk shit about people with their $20 a gram weed that they're lighting with a $1 Bic lighter that they got from a fucking gas station. Because the butane isn't as refined as it could be. You can get highly refined butane that doesn't really leave any residue behind at all. And it's pretty nice that they use these lighters for like lighting up cigars and shit like that. And so I'd have lighters like that, and I'd talk shit about people's lighters, and people would get fucking pissed about this shit. Because they knew I was right.
Well, yeah. Yeah, all insecure and shit. No, that makes sense.
I've got a custom lighter. That's interesting. It's all interesting.
Don't fill it up with that fucking Roncinol bullshit. Go get some like Vector butane or something like that. Anything's refined at least 7 times. That's what you want to use. That's like if you're really smoking high grade weed and you got a clean glass pipe and shit like that, and the taste matters. Yeah, use a decent lighter with the butane is the most important thing. Just use good butane, and
so it's like using good water in your ice.
Yeah,
for your ice, which. Like
making a good whiskey ice cube, that sort of thing.
Yeah. So I was talking to K-Stoff about this. We were laughing our asses off because I'm looking at fridges for if and when we move, and one of these fridges that we were looking at, it's like it makes craft ice, and it's those round, circular, spherical ice cubes.
Jesus Christ, Ray! How much money are you spending?
No, so it just happened to be on one of these fridges. I don't think we're getting that one. That's just way too expensive. But we were laughing because he was like, oh yeah, because K-Stoff's the one that he'll buy and sell and trade like high-end bourbons and stuff like that and whiskeys and things. And he was like, yeah, I go into this chat room or whatever, this forum, and these people are bitching about like, oh, well, it needs to be perfectly spherical. And these like fucking guys where you're like, shut up. Like if you add a spherical cube, like a spherical cube's like close enough. Like it doesn't need to be distilled or purified, whatever type of water you use.
Cube? What the fuck are you talking about?
Thank you, Adam. Thank you.
Yeah, whatever you want to say. But your ice spherical ice thing. What would you call it then?
A sphere of ice? I don't know, man. I wouldn't call it a sphere cube. That doesn't make any damn sense.
Ray, be cool when talking to the drug hustler. Jesus Christ, you're embarrassing me.
No, that's the fucking slick ass freezer. Look, a little shit like that. People like that type of stuff. If you're an old fogey that's constantly like, drinking high end whiskey and stuff like that, and you care about having that sphere ice cube, yeah, little shit like that kind of puts stuff over the top.
So that's what you were doing with saying the butane or whatever you're fueling it with.
That, and I was also just annoyed by these fucking weed snobs, man, because there's just no arguing with these people. So, sometimes if they pissed me off, if they annoyed me enough, I would just need a win. And I'd never had anybody that ever had a nice lighter. Like, not really, anyway.
Adam, how do you prefer to? Well, if you still ingest cannabis, how do you prefer to use it? Do you prefer to smoke, vape, or edibles?
I used to smoke out of a pipe and stuff like that, but I've been on my P's and Q's for a good while and keeping my nose clean with everything, which is a damn shame. However, I'm still kind of in the weed business. So I've invested in cannabis stocks.
Oh yeah, smart.
So actually, I've been investing quite a bit. Like, I was always good with math and shit like that, and I understand a good investment when I see it, that sort of thing. So I fabricated a GTR off of $5,000 in the stock market in a year and a half.
Wow. What's a GTR?
That's amazing.
A Nissan GTR. Fast car.
Oh, a car. Oh, yeah. Wow.
Oh, yeah. We started talking about a lot of this. Oh, my God. Yeah. Please continue.
Oh, so I'm a fucking car hipster. Come find out.
Yeah, raise his dick out. So
I'm not a fan. So, I'm that guy that's like, they just don't make stuff like they used to. It's like the engine feeling is so much more warm back then. The steering wheel just feels so responsive. Like they just don't make cars like this anymore. But it's kind of true because so I have an R32 Skyline GTR. I got it imported from Japan, and man, I don't regret buying that thing at all. That thing is stupid fun because it handles unreasonably well. It's pretty fucking fast. It has computer controlled 4-wheel drive. It lets you drive this thing like an ignorant madman and let you get away with it. It's faster than a lot of modern sports cars. Like the way the mine's set up, I can pull away from a Camaro SS.
Wow.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a little 2.6 liter.
So that's so fun.
I was about to invest in some stocks. My a guy I work with, he gets he has a Robinhood stock app, right? And he's like, if you click my link, man, I'll get a free stock. You get a free stock. I'm like, all right, cool. I'll take a free stock and see what happens. And then they wanted
what do you think about
information.
getting?
So I'm like, Well, nothing, because
just starting up a stock account is just like starting up a bank account, man. You got to get all this stuff verified. Like there's a lot of official shit involved, man.
No, so I'm getting shit verified, right? But I didn't want to put my, my bank account in there into an online app that I wasn't very sure of. So I wanted to give them my PayPal information, and they don't take PayPal information. And then my wife's like, "No, you're not giving the stock market our fucking bank information. You're shit out of luck on that one, buddy." So that's what I'm saying. Adam, is don't get married. That's what I'm saying. Don't get married.
Oh, I almost fell for that trap twice. I don't plan on it. I don't need to get a contract involved in my romantic affairs.
No, I would love to invest in weed. I think that's a great industry to get into, especially now. Because
yeah. Well, right now, actually, the market's doing really bad compared to what it was like maybe a year and a half ago. But the thing is, I don't think it matters in the long run, because the writing's on the wall, man. I think it's gonna be federally legal on some level, maybe even a Schedule II medicinal or something like that in the not too distant future. If not this election cycle, then probably next.
Yeah. With all these CBD stores popping up, all those CBD stores are going to turn into freaking, cannabis stores.
Yeah.
Real quick.
Oh, yeah. And that was actually kind of an unintentional thing, because that was a farm bill where they wanted to get industrial hemp legalized and shit like that. But none of the lawmakers thought of the ramifications of what they were doing. It was actually Mitch McConnell-backed bill that made the CBD stuff happen, because he wanted to grow hemp in Kentucky.
Yeah.
Sneaky.
Adam, you're so smart. So
I try to keep informed.
What do you think is holding back like weed being legalized everywhere? And do you think it's like the big pharma, or do you think it's our old blue laws and shit like that?
That's part of it too. Any of the how many industries do you think have it in their best interest to keep marijuana illegal? How many are out there? Yeah. So all of them have money involved in keeping it that way.
Right.
And so, there's a shitload of lobbyists out there that, you got the prison guards union lobbying to keep weed illegal. You have the police unions lobbying to keep weed legal. You have big pharma. You have lumber industries that don't want to have to compete with hemp paper. There's certain plastic companies that don't want to have to switch over to a new type of making plastics. There's a lot of stuff involved with this thing. And on top of that, you just have the normal moralizers that want to pretend like smoking weed makes you an insane person or stupid or lazy or something like that. There's a lot of stigma out there over years and years of drug propaganda, and not a real look, and no one really studying this stuff because it was illegal to do so. And we are barely getting good studies about this stuff now out of Canada.
Yeah. And they tell you how it helps with like cancer treatments and all that bullshit. It's better for pain management. Like there's so many benefits. And I tell my friend Mike all the time, it's like, listen, weed, it's probably good for you. All the other shit that you ingest into your body, you fat fuck.
It's definitely not as bad as it's been made out to be. And it's definitely helpful for something, not nothing. And that's all it has to be for it to be a Schedule II drug. It just has to help with something. So there's no reason for it to be illegal that way, other than a war on drugs. That's where all the stuff came from. And then like the ramping up of the war on drugs, like Nixon was huge on going after weed because that's how he wanted to keep down the communist hippies. He hated fucking commies and hippies.
Man, yeah. If you can get through 2020 and not realize that the politicians do not have your best interests at heart, you fucked up, because 2020 is very revealing. And that none of the politicians give a shit about you, and none of them care about you. Money and their lobbyists are all that matters. And if you stupidly believe that any of them are going to save you, then you're a stupid asshole and you can get fucked. Right?
No.
I'm not too far off there, right?
No, you're not too far off at all. I don't know every once in a while they get lucid moments of clarity and realize that at some point, maybe somewhere back in their distant past, they had like a great-great-grand relative that wasn't a reptilian but was actually a human. And so their heart beats for just a second and realize that they have to pass something that's not going to keep everybody just super fucked over. That happens every now and then.
Yeah. I wish you were on Twitter, Adam, so you could argue with Chris O.C.
Oh, hell no, dude. I listen to y'all talk about your social networking and shit like that. I don't do any of that stuff. All right. So let's segue to prison. Back to prison for a second. All right, so think about it like this.
Right.
I was completely unplugged from 2010 to 2015.
Wow.
No phone, no internet.
So good.
The best I got
Holy shit.
was
Adam, you missed the entirety of Torn Think Tank.
there's a lot of shit that I missed. But here's the deal: when I got out, while I was locked up, smartphones had proliferated. Like, it was not a lot of people had them in 2010 necessarily. Like, they were there, but they weren't really there. Well, by 2015, yeah, it was really there. I came out and I'm looking at everybody is just staring at their phone. And it wasn't like that when I got locked up. And I was like, oh shit, that's fucked up. And so I just right then and there was like, I'm not going to be that guy. I have a smartphone. I have no apps installed on it other than map apps.
That's it.
Yeah, no, that's good. I do Photoshop on my phone. I do Photoshop and I chat with Ray and Randy and Chris OC and my wife.
Yeah, and I like the best I got. I still got a Facebook, and basically I use that to keep in touch with like friends from high school, that sort of thing.
Aren't they all assholes now? Do you have any friends from high school that you have any interest in talking to? Because I don't. Yeah. I mean, I did. He died in a canoe accident.
I'm one of those guys that I always, like, at any given time, I would always have like one or two like really, really good friends. So anybody I ever had that's like a really, really good friend, we're still good friends. Like, we might not talk on a regular basis, but if our paths ever crossed again, we just pick it right back up where we left off, that sort of thing.
It's the great. problem friends is that so the ratio is so small, because there's 100 people you went to high school with. There's going to be like one or two of them that are actually doing really interesting things. And you're like, you know what? I like that person. I'm kind of interested in what they're doing. That's unique. And the rest of them, you're like, yeah, I don't give a fuck. Yeah. Or you're an idiot. Like, so that's the problem with social media.
Yeah. Well, also
a bunch of bullshit.
I'm also not interested in people's political hot takes on fucking social media. Like, yeah, exactly. Every old person I'm friends with on Facebook, eventually, if they do it enough, I'll still be friends with them, but I'll stop following their feed. And that's whenever they want to post those posts that are like, one like is praise Jesus, one share is a hallelujah.
Yeah, those work.
How many of my friends will copy and paste this? Yeah, fuck that.
Like all that type of stuff.
Facebook's. I quit Facebook for a long time, and then I started posting pictures of my kids again, just because I thought my family needed to see my kids, because because 2020 you can't see any of your family. But I was talking to Chris OC today. Don't get mad at me. And I said we'd do a lot better if people just kept their stupid opinions to themselves. And he said, well, what fun would that
be? Well, people are just so bad at realizing what the fuck is rage bait and what isn't. I don't know what it is about not being able to look at something stupid and go, oh, that's stupid, and just move on. I don't know what's with the compulsion to have to weigh in on everything.
Right.
So,
It's
they've done studies on that stuff. It's the whole, if someone's soliciting feedback or not giving feedback, and how you'll respond if you feel that no one will actually in person respond to it, versus if you're giving feedback to someone live. I mean, people are just way more insane. That's the best word to describe it.
Well, also, we're talking about dealing with stuff on the internet. You have a degree of removal. And so there's a lot of things that, when you're in a social situation, you have a much different feel than when you're sitting in front of a computer screen. So there's a lot of stuff that you normally wouldn't say in person necessarily, on account that you would kind of understand how a general group of people would feed back. But, when you're posting stuff online, you're posting it to the biggest group of people without really the feedback in your mind's eye about how people are going to perceive it. So yeah, people act ridiculous online, but I mean, I grew up in darkness. My dad was an electrical engineer, and I've been on the internet since I was a wee tot. And I grew up in the darkness, so I learned how to deal with the internet 90s. At a really early age. Yeah. Back in the Wild West days of the internet. And
early mid-90s, yeah.
I was a freshman in college when I found 4chan. I was there way early. Like January of 2006 is when I first found this shit. So,
wow.
Oh yeah, I was there for the final boss of the internet days. That shit was fucking cool.
Wait, you said that was a freshman in college in 2006?
Mm-hmm. Oh, no. Sorry.
Oh.
I was freshman in
linked the two
college in
together.
03. I actually found it. Hold on.
So we're the same age.
No, wait, I graduated high school in 03 and I'd done a bunch of other stuff. So I didn't get to university until I was kind of already a junior, and that would have been 06.
Gotcha.
I remember the early days of iFriends. Remember the early days of iFriends? The early days of camming, Ray? When chicks would cam?
Not iFriends.
And you'd pay them money? No?
Not that one specifically, but, other similar.
I was just thinking of that today. I was thinking,
sites.
Man, there used to be like camming sites, and you'd pay like per minute and to go into private rooms with these women. Yeah, and it was like very grainy footage or a camera. It's amazing how far we've come. Where you can,
it looked like an
4K.
FMV game from the 90s.
Yeah, exactly.
Oh yeah.
And now I've got Chris O'C's Plex server with terabytes of shows and movies that I can stream at 1080p. No problem. I shouldn't have said that. Yeah.
Dude, I grew up on the internet in the 90s and like trying to sneak online at night and stuff like that and figure out. Yeah. I learned how to type by exactly, getting in chat rooms like super late at night and learn how to type and type really well, memorizing the keyboard because I had to do it at night in the dark because if the light was on, somebody would know you're online.
I used to do role-playing chat rooms. That's how I learned to type, was role-playing chat rooms like 1996 and 1997 on Prodigy.
Oh, I did it on Typing of the Dead.
What's that?
It was a Dreamcast game.
Oh, really?
Wow.
Dreamcast had a keyboard peripheral, and it was House of the Dead 2, but it was like a typing game where you had to type the words fast enough to kill all the zombies and stuff.
Wow. Oh, my God. That's awesome.
So can you type like, I don't know, 100 words a minute or whatever?
Nah, nothing like that. I don't regularly type enough to really have to get good. I type well enough
you
for.
Suck.
What do you type, Bram? I guarantee.
When I was no joke. When I was in the reserves, we had to do typing. Okay, I don't know why, but we did, and I did 150 a minute. I was 150 a minute.
No, that's false. That's false.
That's not false. That's absolutely true.
That's false. Unless you're talking about like just typing like A, B, C, D, E, F, G.
No, motherfucker. I typed 150. I was tested. An official government test had me at 100.
Was that the peak or was that the average? What do you average? Come on, man. Yeah. I've popped it up to like 150 and shit like that. Whenever you're like suddenly in the magic. I don't appreciate you guys being
assholes. This was an official.
Come on, man. Look, Rim, we're all friends test. Here. You don't have to bullshit us. I know we all know you're cool. All right, you can tell us the truth.
Yeah. All right. Thanks, buddy. It's 150. It's 150 words a minute. You fucking assholes, both of you.
Mm-hmm. Yep, that's why one time when someone was applying for an office admin position at my office, and they said I can type 55 words per minute. I was like, pass.
What's yours, Ray? 75? You stupid asshole.
I type faster than anyone I know. I'll just say it like that.
Okay, so not as fast as me. Awesome.
I type fast. I average at least 80, if not 100 words per minute.
This is like the nerdiest shit ever. I'm sorry, man. I type 150 words a minute. All right, I was tested.
Oh, yeah, we're really flexing hard these days.
I would love to see you do that currently on like an actual test, like not the super easy one, and one that actually factors in more than just.
What I don't appreciate, Ray, is like I don't brag about my accomplishment, right? I don't come on here every week and say, I type 100. I've never mentioned it before.
Ridiculously high.
That's
I'm sorry.
Yeah, really, this all started from you, Ray. It's a weird flex, bro. Just saying.
Yeah, I'm sorry, man. Like, why would I even lie about that? Like, if I'm a dumbass, I would think 110 would be good. It was 150. What do you want me to do? What do you want me to do?
Maybe that's why they pay you the big bucks to be the big boss.
Right. If I was gonna hear and like flex on something the size of my dick because it's huge, it's fucking massive. All right. I don't need to flex on typing.
Desk to let that thing sprawl out underneath it.
Yeah. Oh, I'm sorry you had a bad week, Ray.
I know.
Okay. Jesus Christ! You come here,
man. I got traumatized in prison by a big dick one time. So,
you too?
All right, let me explain this story. So I'm showering, right, and they make everybody shower at the same time, right? So you're kind of standing there and you're just trying not to look around too much and shit like that. So I'm showering, doing my thing, and I see a lot of movement in my peripheral vision. Like, you kind of understand how people are supposed to be and shit like that, but there's something moving that's not supposed to be moving, kind of that's out of the ordinary, right? My motion trackers are going off, and I look down at a quick glance, and man, This fucking dude had the biggest dick in the damn universe. Like, I got stuck for a second. Like, I looked at it, and then my eyes got big, and I was just like, oh, like, oh,
You gotta
I was like, oh, what the
compliment him.
fuck is that?
Yeah, but you're
You'd be
not
like,
the only person that's
congratulations,
done
man.
that.
Oh,
Yeah.
it was, yeah, so this dude.
Are we talking like down to the knees?
So his nickname was 3, and they called it 3 because he could do that. You know that thing when you put your hand on a bat, he can go 1,
Tripod,
2,
yeah.
3, and his head will poke out his fucking the third hand
Wow.
while it's limp.
You know,
Oh
Adam,
my
it's funny you
God.
mentioned that. When I was in San Antonio, I was in San Antonio for some army training, right? And there was this Jamaican dude who was taking a shower one day when I was walking in, and I don't know why he was fully erect in the shower, but he was, and that thing was fucking massive, fucking huge. I was like, holy shit, that's bigger than mine. I don't know what to do now. Yeah, it was, I get you, man.
Yeah. Well, you know, most of my friends are in the army or were in the army. And so sometimes I talk about prison and they'll talk about army stuff. And it's kind of odd how often this type of
Same.
shit will overlap. Because it kind of you get a broad slice of Americana, and they both kind of have their own culture, and a lot of weird shit happens. So
Yeah.
it kind of works out.
I knew a guy, his name was Brian David Simon. He had 3 first names for a name. And I knew another guy who had 1 green eye and 1 blue eye. And they were all in my squad, a basic training. Oh, man.
Oh man, yeah, and another thing about the prison thing is like the prisons and the army, they get the fucking weird government food that says like not for human consumption except for prisoners and and army shit, and they come in like
Except not in
gigantic
MP3
boxes.
form.
Oh yeah. And some of this shit gets made by prison industries and shit like that, because there's some states where they don't have to pay their inmates for the labor like at all. It's literally slave labor. And so they got hundreds of thousands of acres of farmland and shit like that they're constantly just farming out. So they actually make a whole lot of produce, and they make their own food for the prisons, but it also goes to the army. Because there's a lot of intergovernment stuff that happens with like prison labor and shit like that. Like I made furniture for like fire departments and colleges and shit like that.
Do you ever go visit those places and say I made that?
No, never done that.
Do you do that today with your job? You go visit places and you're like, hey, Boeing, I made that?
No, because so everything is far enough away where I don't really see that. Now, there are plenty of stuff that I've just made in the shop for the shop where I'm like, yeah, I made that. Because, you know, I've made my own tools and stuff like that, and made my own fixtures, that sort of thing.
Yeah. Well, is that something that okay, so I feel like if we want to come like somewhat full circle, is that you out of high school, went to college, but you said you spent 5 years there, had existential crisis, which is, I take that, please don't let me put words in your mouth, but you were kind of like unfulfilled. You're like, I can get all the book smarts I want, but what am I doing with my life, right? To an extent.
Kind of. I also had an identity crisis. I didn't know who I wanted to be. I didn't know exactly what I wanted to do. Everything seemed hollow, you know? I was just a nihilistic fuck.
Well, so then drugs and now you said you're working oversimplifying, but as a machinist. But I've always felt like there's something rewarding about working with your hands, which is you can see what you've done, like physically in front of you. You see it. Is that something that's actually brought some fulfillment to you?
Oh yeah, it brought a lot of fulfillment to me. That was one of the things that made me like it so much. That, and there's a decent amount of math involved. I'm pretty good at that. Okay, and there's a lot of attention to detail that kind of goes into this type of stuff, and it tickles the autistic part of my brain. So I got pretty good at it. Like I genuinely like it. I find it interesting, and it's one of those fields where you can never stop learning more shit. Like the more you want to look into it, the more you realize that there's more that could be looked into. So so I enjoy it, but. After I got done hustling, really, I got done hustling from losing my damn mind for a little while. I took way too much acid, man. I fucked up. Oh, man, I fucked up bad. I accidentally dosed myself, and I spilled a vial on my hand. And so I accidentally took 120 doses of acid.
Oh, shit.
And I kind of sobered.
Bad. I don't know what that is, but it sounds bad.
Oh, man. So I'm tripping balls, dude. I just hop in my car and decide to drive west. I sober up in Wilcox, Arizona. Realize I should probably that I'm fucked up and should probably go back home. And so I spent like 2 days just driving around in the desert. I was so fucked up on acid. And I'll tell you what, man, out in the desert, around nothing, nowhere around, just like purple sunrises and shit like that, where you're tripping fucking balls. That was actually pretty sweet. But damn, dude, it took me a while to regulate out of that shit. And then I had already bought tickets to go to a Burning Man event the next week. So I went there. And then, I accidentally took some more shit and I really wasn't ready for it. And so I really lost my damn mind for a little bit. And so somehow my parents convinced me to go to like a rehab center or some weird shit like that, like an inpatient treatment facility, that sort of thing. And they're like, well, this dude's acting crazy. I'm still tripping on shrooms when I go in this place, mind you. And so they want to give me like Risperdal and Depakote or something like that. And like one of those is like an antipsychotic. And really, I just needed to sober up for a couple of weeks and I would have been fine. But they gave me antipsychotics and this shit was like a real problem. Like I lost my damn mind for a little while where like I was like incredibly paranoid. And like I was always feeling like people were like conspiring and that I was always being watched. It was a really weird feeling. And so like I had to just drop off the face of the damn planet for a while. And it took like a couple of months to really get my shit straight again. But then after that, everything had fallen apart and I'd really burned a lot of bridges and shit like that. So I spent like almost a year just being a depressed fuck couch surfing. And I had plenty of friends. That actually wasn't a problem. I knew a lot of hippies. So, there's always a couch to surf on. And,
sounds like, oh, sorry, go ahead.
Oh, so, but then after that, that's when I've like actually fucking did some cocaine and I somehow wasn't depressed anymore. I'll tell you what, don't advocate it. It probably doesn't work most of the time, but for me, man, it totally did. Man, quickest cure of depression ever. Holy shit. Like, so anyways, I had got some good coke and I fucking perked back up, got my shit straight again. And like got a decent job as being a machinist. And that's when the universe just spat in my face and happened to have that dude try to fucking carjack me with a cleaver. All right. God. And then from there, everything else kind of plays out. I get out of prison. I've been keeping my nose clean. I've had a job since then. I got a college degree since then. And I've been just kind of I've been low key just chilling out. I play my games online. I play my Dungeons and Dragons and, go to work and don't bother anybody.
If you feel fulfilled, man.
Oh yeah,
you know what I'm saying. That's kind of what I was getting at. Whatever makes you happy at the end of the day, that's important.
Adam,
Awesome.
Do you want to do a couple segments with us before we wrap up?
Oh, sure, absolutely.
All right, let's do this one here. Ready, Ray?
You want segments? We've got segments. It's Thinking with Your Dickman.
Ray, somebody stole your music for another thing I was listening to. That's fucked up, man. All right, read the email.
Yeah, I made that music from scratch.
I know you did. Yeah, it's bullshit.
Yeah, for this show. So Jorb, whatever the fuck that means, writes in, my wife started buying 2% milk, but I prefer whole milk. What in tarnations am I supposed to do?
Man, you got two horrible people. Well, not 2%'s not that bad. At least it's not like skim. Why the hell does this dude want whole milk?
2% is the perfect milk. I mean, come on, Jorb. What the hell's the matter with you? You that whole milk fatty bullshit, like clogging up your fat cells. Get on the 2%, man. That's what I drink. Me and my
it's
kids
not that
drink
bad.
2% milk. No.
Pick and choose your battles, man.
Yeah, if your wife's hot, just let her buy whatever she wants. If she's not, or she's not giving it, she's not putting out, put your foot down.
Yeah. Either that or play some mind games where you give her that, but then be a real asshole in the future. Remember when we had this milk fight and I said you could have that milk? Well, this time I want to buy a flamethrower on the internet. All right, honey?
Yeah.
Yeah. No,
exactly.
You said sabotage her. All I could think was like, you said sabotage her. I thought you were going to say something like, not that, please, this is where my mind went. That's what I meant to say. I am not saying this is what you would say. Please don't let me put words in your mouth. But put rat poison in there. Just a little bit. Just a little bit. And then all of a sudden, everyone's getting sick. Everyone's getting sick. And you're like, see, honey, this is what happens when you buy whole milk.
You don't poison. We do not advocate poisoning people, Jorb. Don't you dare do that. Drink your goddamn milk and find real problems to complain about. What the fuck?
Yeah.
2%.
Unless she deserves to be poisoned.
Stupid ass.
Isn't whole milk just so 2% is 2% just like it's 1% less fat in it? So
yeah,
add 1% more water.
Jorb, this is a terrible email.
Just put a little bit of half and half in your milk. I don't know, man. Fuck.
Yeah, get some heavy fucking cream. Try drinking that.
Yeah,
you stupid
and you know what?
asshole.
I got a gut feeling that if he does win this fight, that if this guy does win this milk fight, the negative repercussions seem to be probably a lot higher than he signed up for. I just got that gut feeling about this shit.
Ray, you got to talk to the interns, not the spaghetti, but the other interns, and they got to screen these better. That was a shitty question. Fucking asshole. Yeah. Okay, all right, we got another segment here. Let's do this one.
This is the voicemail bumper. This is the bumper
Adam's
on your
like
left,
this.
And this is the bumper on your right. This is a badass guitar riff. And finally, here's your voicemails. Sorry, that guitar riff's too cool not to play twice.
If it ain't no bueno. It's been a long time, partner. I don't know. I was going to do some Western shit, but I don't know what the fuck they say in those movies. I mean, shit. I only saw like the Clint Eastwood one where like he beat up the Mexican. And I didn't watch the whole thing. I just came out like someone else watching it. So I just like, he was always beating every time I came out, he was beating that Mexican guy up. I mean, I don't know what the hell that shit was. Either way, man, I was on like a quintuple spree of just calling in and keeping it quick, but still leaving very poignant, sullen, morose and lugubrious messages to, depress people, but also enlighten people. If you're conscious, you must be depressed, or at least cynical. You know what I'm talking about? Heck. Hopefully Larry comes on for the next episode. I mean, it's hard to stay in touch with CJ, but that'd be dope. Even if CJ got he got other stuff to do and he can't, co-host forever. I mean, I actually want to be able to churn out episodes every week, at least every 2. I mean, what's been up with I gotta actually, get in Discord and shit, but, man, got like work and all that and just busy and,
goddamn work.
Still struggling with the bullshit, bro. Oh my God, man. Whew. I'm probably gonna get shut up by this bitch. I'll call back, but either way, you're right when that person, you're right when you know not to speak pretty much. You know what I'm talking about, bro? I guarantee every nigga deal with this shit. And you want to say something, you like, I'm right though. I just like obliterated your bitch ass, but you don't want to say nothing. You just like, nah, that shit probably gonna, I pass on that. I'm good. I'm good on that. That's, had that situation going, but, oh boy. I wanted to get, the Priority Society on. CJ actually was like, that's probably not, they probably aren't happy. And I was like, I mean, I don't want to admonish the lifestyle. I don't fuck with the lifestyle, but at the same time, I was like, nah, bro, they seem like, like genuinely happy, like happy. And I know a lot of people in, like relationships and shit, and them niggas miserable. I mean, shit. So, I mean, I ain't gonna, I mean, do what you like and don't physically harm anybody. Shit. Or don't say anything so stupid that it literally like makes everyone just like, turn into Joe Biden with his brain melts and talking about, man, bruh, hey, Rem, on the podcast, you need to play like, hey, look up like on YouTube some shit.
Okay. Got another one.
Okay. Wait, real quick. All I can imagine is Prairie Society guesting on that podcast and CJ saying, you got any tips for swingers in wheelchairs? Like, what are they supposed to do?
CJ's trying to tell Isaac that they're not happy. They're the happiest people I've ever met in my life, Ray. You'll be swinging with them soon. You'll know all about it.
They are. That's what I love about them is that they are so good at communicating. That's helped them, in my opinion, take their relationship to the next level.
Oh, so I got a question, man. What's the difference between swingers and people that are polyamorous?
Swingers, So polyamory involves a relationship, right? So there's a relationship involved, like a man has 2 girlfriends or a woman has 2 boyfriends, right? And they're all in that little community and they'll all fine with it. Whereas swingers is that you're just hooking up with other people. You're married, but you're hooking up with other married couples and fucking, and that's it. maybe you get back together again, but you're not in like a romantic relationship.
I was kind of hoping you would say we don't know, so we should have them back on so we could ask them.
We'll have them back on, Ray. Jesus Christ,
We can
calm
still
down.
do that.
Yeah, you should have them back on anyway. So
We can still make that happen.
Yeah, Ray, by this time next year, you'll be telling me what Eros's dick looks like. All right, let's get on to next week.
Okay.
I'll have measurements for
finally. Okay. They cut me off when I was. You got to look up they got like different variations, but like you can look up like however many minutes of video of Joe Biden's brain melting. This shit's amazing, man. It's beautiful. It's a work of art, bruh. It's not like George W. where he was like, "Hey, fool me once, shame on you. Fool me twice." And at that moment, you could tell he was cognitive because he was like, "Oh shit, I did a little bit too much cocaine off, In Texas, you could tell, there was something going on up there. And he was able to be like, I think he was a pimp behind the scenes. I mean, that's why he partied too hard the prior night. And he's just like, hell, you know what? I'm just going to freestyle it. Can't fool me twice. Can't get fooled more than one time. CJ died of laughter, and I was like, you know who that was? And he was like, of course, bro. And I was like, yeah, I'm not going to lie. Back then, that's the craziest thing, Ram. Back, like, I would be considered a liberal back then. I would be considered like liberal, like, and nothing has changed about my opinions. But now I'm just like considered like, based as fuck, bro. You know what that means? One of the good ones. Either way, I mean, I'm just like, hey, I haven't changed, and so if someone views me as like super far right, I'm just like, I don't know what the hell happened. A lot of it's satire, but at the same time, it's just like none of my opinions changed. I mean, shit. I'm just sick of all this online shit, bro. I don't know what's up with Mark Carney. You gotta keep me updated on it, like, or some shit. I mean, I'm so sick of cancel culture, bro. I'm so sick of, like, I don't know if you, bro, on TDS, man, when Jersh was just like, well, I'm sorry, I am the people that I surround myself with. And I was like, nigga, what are you talking about? You can still be cool with them. What are you talking about? Why are you doing this? And then just hearing, like, I don't know, I actually kind of, like, felt sad as fuck, bro. I was like, I already feel sad every day. I don't know. It's just that Dick is like, he actually kind of came out arguing in earnest. I feel like it almost kind of ruined, like, the usual idea of the show, because he was actually trying to make, like, it definitely wasn't him being satirical, and it was just like, and then he gives an example, and like, Josh doesn't answer, and he's like, because that's, and I was like, man, you could have just dragged me, and then I would have been like, ha, got him.
What's that, Adam?
Did you hear that on the Dick Show, by the way? You know what he's talking about?
I haven't. Yeah, I know what he's talking about. I haven't heard it yet because I'm on vacation and I haven't gotten to my normal podcast routine.
Well,
on vacation.
As usual, podcast junkies talking about some fun internet drama. They got a bro breakup. Yeah. Oh, so depressing.
Unbelievable.
Oh, so sad. Let's
I know it's sad. We got to break up with your bro.
Beta male. Can talk about either way. That shit just, I don't know. After Josh said goodbye, and then, like, Dick was like, yeah, I mean, I guess goodbye. Like, because literally he was like, yeah. I mean, Dick's, like, been, like, ostracized by some people. He's like, right. Yeah, I know this. I've dealt with this shit before. That shit just, I don't know.
Got him. He got him.
Man, I heard some words of wisdom about stuff like that. He goes, bitches, they come, they go. Saturday through Sunday, yo. I'm sure Dick will get over it,
One
Do you
more.
think they'll talk about us, Rem, when we break up? Do you think we'll be a hot topic?
Yeah, we will be, because I'm not going to be a fucking bitch this time, Ray. I'm going to tell everybody about your bullshit. I'm taking control of that narrative, motherfucker. Like, you're not going to get one up over me. All of it, every fucking little bit, every little dirty shit you said to me. All the shit behind us, I'm coming out.
All of it?
All. I'm not going to lay that.
Are you going to be blasting out the DMs?
Blasting out the DMs, screenshots of Ray. I got everything, motherfucker. I got everything. I'm not losing my audience again like I did that time. Okay,
he's already got out of context clips lined up.
Executive producer Randy, executive producer of the Rich Dickman Show here. Calling in.
Wait, which one?
Tells me to stop. Yeah, I really enjoyed hearing about the Hustlin. The guest tonight.
Live
from
voicemail.
Houston. Houston.
I saw him doing it too.
It's one of those Texas cities.
I wonder what he was doing.
He's getting out of California, Ray. You might want to join him. There's 70,000 homeless people taking over Beverly Hills or something.
Is that it?
So watch out. I wanted to say that positive to say. Been watching the Democratic National Convention. It's kind of a waste of time.
That shit was so fucking cringy.
That'll be a waste of time. But I'm gonna stay informed.
Yeah, like Chris O.C.
Propaganda.
Did you see those Amy Klobuchar feet pics?
Fuck, why did I do politics? That was stupid.
Too many times.
See, now there's a politician that understands the times. Feet pics.
That's right.
Thank you, Randy. Feet pics from politicians. I do not want. Adam from Houston. Thank you for help hopping on with us tonight and talking about hustling drugs and a little bit of prison and tripping on acid and all the fun things we get with you, buddy. We're gonna have Adam from Houston. I think you're gonna be like every few weeks we're gonna have you back to talk about something because you're a very interesting human being. You know why, Adam from Houston, is because you're very smart. Okay, and I've known people like you in my life who are very smart and they do lots of shit you wouldn't think a smart person would do. Don't take that as an insult. I don't mean it as one.
No, I know exactly what you're getting at, and that's not an uncommon sentiment, man. I've gotten that quite a bit, actually.
Have you? Okay, so I'm sorry. I thought my thought was original, but I guess not. So I know, fuck anybody else who said it to you. But I love talking to you. I love the stories you tell. So I appreciate you coming on and being so willing to share them. So go ahead. Now's the time for whatever long fucking game you're playing and insult me. Whatever bullshit you're gonna do, go do it now. You plug whatever shit you're gonna plug that just hurts my feelings.
Oh, man, I've been anticipating this for a little bit. I was curious what you were going to say before then because you know what I'm going to plug. You know what I'm going to plug. Patreon.com/Asterios. Everybody should go support Asterios. This poor guy got sued by Maddox, and he's still trying to recover from shit, man. Y'all think about the sneaky Greek, man. He needs the help.
I invited his ass on the show. He said no. He said he was too busy. I texted him because he gives his number out, like Huel used to. He stole that idea from Huelhauser. And I just texted him. I'm like, hey, man, you want to come on the show? And he's like, oh, I'd love to, but I'm really busy right now. I'm, all right, that's fine.
Well, show rimdrinkscom.com, man. He'll come right over.
Yeah, he'll come right over. Absolutely. You got anything else? You just patreon.com/Asterios.
No, I'm just happy to be on the show. Really, I don't have anything to plug. I'm just a guy that kind of lurks around, man. You'll get me to pop up every now and then, if it's interesting enough, if I think it's fun enough. And, I like coming on this show, man. So, yeah, you got me to crawl out of my hole for this one. So, really, awesome. I'm just happy to be here.
I'm so happy. Ray, you got anything you want to say to Adam, or I gotta wind this down because we're gonna run out of time.
No, appreciate you coming on. Well, last time after the show, we stuck around. It probably was like 2 hours, and so normally I don't stick around after show for 2 hours. If that makes
he does all the time.
Any indication of how much we like having you hang out here. So yeah, we'll definitely have you back on at some point for sure. No, we appreciate you coming on. It's tip of the iceberg here.
Oh yeah, just let me know.
A lot to explore. Yeah.
All right.
Good stuff.
Well, thank you all so much for listening to the Rich Dickman Show. We appreciate it every single week when you tune in and tell your friends. Like we do, you want to support the show, tell a friend. That's right. And leave a review. And if you like it even more than that, you can check out our Patreon, patreon.com/Rich Dickman right now. Ray, it's Liquor Fueled #1 pop-up audio with you, me, and Randy listening to the first ever episode of Liquor Fueled from November 29th, 2013. Good. And it's available to all the tiers, patreon.com/Rich Dickman. I would like to give a shout out to Greg with 2 G's at the end. So a total of 3 G's. That's crazy. Greg, thank you for hopping on our Patreon with us. But you can get some extra every week. And we're going to hit those bonus shows a lot more often now that we have all the Liquor Fueleds back. But there's bonus clips, bonus shows, And you know what? If you come in at the top tier, you get a custom t-shirt. Just ask Kristen. I don't know where she is tonight, Randy. I'd like to see a picture or Kristen in that t-shirt. I want to see what it looks like. It's cool. It's good stuff. But yeah, check that out. You can find us online at richdickman.com for all your Rich Dickman needs. Click the merch tab. Get yourself a new TRDS face mask or a t-shirt. Those are awesome. And of course, we are on YouTube. Show gets uploaded to YouTube every single week. Click subscribe. That would be awesome. Really thinking about getting some more YouTube content, Ray. We'll talk about that at some point. But Ray, do you want to plug anything before I move on to the end of this?
Nah, if you follow me on Twitter at Jules1Fell, I'll probably block you for whatever reason. But YouTube content, we can get into some sexy content there. We can do some fun stuff. We're sexy. Yeah,
only when I have a haircut though, and I've talked to Kayla. And
like you were at the beach this, what is that today? Like we could generate some sexy content pretty easily.
I had some sexy bandana on top of my head pics. Sexy lobster. I'm
so many people want to see that.
Look at Isaac Jackson's podcast, Shipping Out with Isaac Jackson. Adam from Houston was a guest in Isaac's most recent episode. So make sure you check that out. Adam had a lot of fun stuff to say. Adam got a few passes for different words. Good for you, Adam. Proud of you, buddy.
Yeah, it's always good to have passes.
Passes you can get. Hall passes, especially.
And of course, be sure to listen to our good buddies and friends and over at Not Freedom Consumption. This is like the first Thursday in weeks I haven't finished their episode yet, so I can't comment on it. But man, they were drunk and talking about their horrible fathers. I'm so sorry, you guys. I'm so sorry. RichDickmanShow@gmail.com for if you want to get in touch with us, or you can call the Dickman line 860-316-4776. Of course, you can follow executive producer Randy. He's not really on social media, but it is at Sir Zero with an E, and he's also here on our our Discord, which is bit.do/TRDS1. And of course, there's at Rich Dickman Show, and there's at Ryan TRDS for producer Ryan, and of course my mother at Rem_Mama, and I am at Rem Dickman. That's it. That'll do it for episode 121. Episode 121. I love you all. Thank you all for listening. We appreciate it every single week that you do. And I guess we'll be back next week for 122. That's right. Ray, love you, buddy. Adam, thank you so much for coming on.
Naturally.
Randy, I'm looking at you right now in your orange, reddish room. I'm colorblind. I can't tell. I don't know, but you look handsome. Thank you so much. Good night, everybody.
See ya. And let's bring this baby home. Is that good timing? My timing's impeccable.
See, you're on a short week, Ray, because you're so angry at everybody. You were supposed to be feeling off that when you were doing the Adam thing. But yeah, Adam, thanks so much for coming on, buddy. And then, hey, Rem, let's bring this baby home. That's when you should have done that, but you didn't.
You can find us online at richdickman.com. Wait, fuck. See, I'm still off. Like I didn't even hear what you said. I thought this was whenever you stop talking, I think I'm supposed to talk. Oh my God. I'm so bad at these outros. Oh my God. You'd think this was my first time doing this or the first time caring about doing this.